bit short notice, but I felt like, if we're going to talk about games, let's talk about them when they're kind of in your wheelhouse a little bit, and we can move on to the next one. But excited for the win. Addressed it with our players. We had a team meeting this morning. We had some film review. Still plenty of things that we can continue to work on and continue to improve at. But the way they approached the game, their energy, the level of competition that they played with, and then just the belief in that we were going to go get a big W this week was apparent. I think if you were watching the game, you were at the game, if you were on our sideline, you could feel it. And appreciate everything that our coaches and that our players and our support personnel did to lead up to that win. That was a program victory over a good program. Coach Spencer does a great job. Very talented football team, and it was good to see that we were able to line up and go toe to toe, and I think be the more physical team during the course of the game, and we made some big plays when we needed to.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
Can you just speak to the, I would say, vastly different feeling from going into the bye week last time to going into the bye week this time, and how you try to keep this team level and even through those swings of emotions going into these bye weeks?
Well, I think, again, just go back to this program's built on work. It's never been afraid of it, nor will we be in the future. Last thing we're going to do is sit around and pat ourselves on the back. We're going to get back to work tomorrow. Is a full padded practice. We're going to be out there. We have a list of things that we want to continue to improve on. Put it up in the team meeting today, so that way there was no confusion. We have 3 great opportunities ahead of us. We need to stay hungry. We need to stay focused, driven on taking each one of those one at a time and creating great opportunities for ourselves.
Did you afford yourself any time in order to think about the historical nature of that win on Saturday with the first regular season win? I know we won a couple Mountain West championships, but just in terms of this program accomplishing that for the first time?
Probably not. Got home, actually had a decent time, kind of decompressed and turned around and was right back here on Sunday morning and doing our thing, getting ready for our next one and getting ready for a couple extra practices, making sure that we knew what the primary objective was for the week. And so I have not probably spent I know this morning the milk can was still here in the meeting room, and we wanted one last time to take a look at it before we kind of close the door on this one. And everyone's name will be etched on it for the rest of history.
And then I know it's been harped on the turnover side of things. The offense, obviously, you want more from it from one's performance Saturday, but to speak to 0 turnovers for the first time this year on that side of the ball, just speak to the importance of how much protecting the football is.
Well, I think just from a statistical standpoint, and again, a lot of things I believe are based on analytics. If you're +1 in turnover margin, you win 60% of the games, and it grows exponentially. And so when you're +3, you have a tremendous opportunity to win games, and I thought you saw that on Saturday. Great job by Coach Benedetto, his staff, and our defense of creating some short fields, some opportunities for our offense. Even, would we have loved to be 5 for 5 with touchdowns in the red zone, but we were 5 for 5 with scoring opportunities. We got in the red zone 5 times. We scored every single time. There's, we're going to critique. We're going to continue to develop a plan to help us continue to be a well-rounded offense and defense and special teams, but you can't take anything away from the effort and the approach that our kids had. Tremendous win, and we need to appreciate it.
Lastly, approaching to the unknown of that quarterback, the other quarterback coming in, you've got multiple games like this where you've had to really adjust on the fly with no real tape or knowledge of that quarterback. What is the process? How did you guys approach that process again of being so effective this time against the quarterback like that?
The game plan, we stayed right with our game plan. Coach Benedetto and the staff came up with a plan to defend their starting quarterback, and we just said, hey, let's just stick with it, with the anticipation that he's been in all the meetings, he's been in all the practice, probably hasn't taken as many snaps, but he gets it. I mean, he's seen what their prep leading into our game, how they wanted to attack us, so why would we change? And we did a really good job. We were able to get him off his spot, make him uncomfortable, and the biggest thing, we were able to get him out of the run game. I mean, they were averaging 250 or so, 240 a game in the run game, and not necessarily make them one-dimensional, but we made them earn everything. I think we had 10 TFLs during the course of the game. We were able to get them off schedule, which is always effective.
Throughout the season, Simeon Harris has tweeted out no panic after each game, even after big losses against Colorado State and San Diego State, and then again on this Saturday against Boise State. What type of mantra does that set in the locker room?
Well, I think it's just, it's his approach. It's our approach. We got to trust our process. We got to trust our routine. We got to trust our vision and what we're doing here. I think sometimes, Sim's a very well-spoken, educated, very smart football player. And I think it's his way of just kind of circling the wagons and saying, hey, the most important people are the ones that are in this room or share the lockers, the coaches, our support personnel. And we're just going to continue to keep growing, keep building, because there's still better football out there for the Bulldogs right now.
Even with the victory, the offense, you talked about it being a slow start with no turnovers, but what's your message to Carson after a game like that? Even with the victory, he struggled at times. I would say, is there encouragement that you can get to him
Sure.
after a game like that?
Sure. Yeah, I bet during the course of the game there was probably 30 times he had to change the run play. And so we did a lot of different things based on the look that they gave us defensively. He was able to operate in the huddle. He was able to command the huddle. We had a couple of administrative penalties that some weren't on him. I think early we had one where I think the jitters got to him. All of a sudden, the 30+ thousand fans, the noise, probably caused one of our false starts. But he did a tremendous job of checking run plays. We didn't ask him to do a lot. I know, we ran the ball 40 sometimes, but I joked on the way home, maybe we should have ran it 50 times. We could have had over, 225, 250 yards. We were running, we were 5+ yards. We ended up averaging four yards a carry. You and I both know we have to be better in the pass game. We got to continue to grow, but at the same time, trying to protect him a little bit as well. Second start, maybe went into the San Diego State game with the anticipation that he could do more or was ready to handle the whole offense, and that wasn't necessarily the case. But he did protect the football, made good decisions, and was really smart in how we wanted to attack some things from a run game wise. He saw what the defense was showing and was able to get us in the right play.
And then lastly, Nick Benedetto was named defensive coordinator of the week for the Mountain West this week by CBS Sports. Can you just speak of the job that he's done leading that defense?
Done a really good job. You see those kids are the comfort level that they're playing with, how fast they're playing. I think that says a lot about the teaching, the mentoring that our coaches are doing. And so really excited about that. We're excited about we have a tremendous staff, and I can't say enough about them. When we win, I get too much credit. They don't get enough. We should be talking about both sides of the ball. We should be talking about Coach Benedetto and his staff. We should be talking about Coach Crabtree and Coach Ferentz and the way we were able to run the football and not give up any sacks this week. So there was plenty of positives. Of course, human nature is you want to come in and talk about the negative things.
Coach, Boise State's quarterback goes down, and they might be leaning on the run even more from that point. And you're down a D tackle with DJ not playing. Can you speak on the D line and some of the things you guys put together to overcome that?
Well, I don't know if it was nothing too complicated. It was just next man up. We played 8 different bodies at defensive tackle during the course of the game, so we did it by volume. And one of the things that I'm probably most excited, and I showed our team today, is we had 2 true freshmen on the field with 4 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. We had Logan Goodspeed and Mordecai Hines out there together, and those guys were being impact players. They both got roughly 8 to 10 foot snaps, and that's a sign of a developmental program when you can mid-year. Your redshirt freshmen are turning into veterans. They're starting to understand things, and those guys are going to have a huge role for us moving forward, regardless when DJ gets back. The more depth you have, it's a line of scrimmage based sport, and the better we are up front, the better we'll be as a football team.
I noticed Noah as well on those third down packages.
Heck yeah, played nose guard for us. What'd you think of that?
Yeah.
You talk about, there's a young man from Saddleback Junior College that just kind of fell in our lap, and he is an outstanding football player, great in the meeting rooms. I can't wait for him to continue to get more and more reps. And like I said, our kids are playing fast, they're confident, they understand schematically, how they fit into the big picture, and we're minimizing explosive plays. We gave up one the other day. And wasn't it great to see the effort and the energy that a senior like Cam Braca gave us on that big run they had, you know, tracking that, walking that kid down and tackling him. And I don't think we gave up any points on that play. Yeah, those are the things you gotta look for and you gotta find. Those are the small wins we gotta be celebrating.
The other Noah Sione also was effective. He's been in and out. Can you speak? Has he been going through an injury, or is there a redshirt opportunity?
He had broke his wrist back in the spring, so he missed the entire, basically all of spring, all of summer, and all of fall camp. And so we are trying to, if we can, redshirt him because of some of the numbers we have. Especially, you know, you look at this weekend, a guy like Corey Foreman had a really good game. Had a huge PBU, had a sack, had a TFL, a couple other tackles. You know, Corey can impact games too. Finn Claypool, with Noah elevating his play. And so, again, all we're trying to do is give Sione an opportunity to get caught up. He was so far behind. And you see that right now. He's in our developmental lift right now, meaning he's lifting 4 days a week and practicing at a high level and giving us some game reps. So it's been good.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, thanks for the availability this morning.
You bet.
So how do you keep up this momentum? I think it's easy to say biggest win of the season. How do you keep it up 2 weeks from now when you coach Wyoming?
Well, I think having a great week of prep this week, getting ahead with some of our preparation for Wyoming. It's going to be a lot of good versus good this week at practice, so there's going to be a competitive spirit to it. Again, we talked a lot last week about competing to the level of the returns that you want. If you want to win on Saturday, you got to compete like winners. Well, that starts in practice. That's a habit that we need to create. We're going to get a lot of young kids development because, again, we still want to continue to develop our depth, continue to develop the young kids in our team that at some point are going to have an opportunity to play. And then we got to get healthier too. And so I think anytime that you're playing games that are meaningful in the month of November, I hope you don't have to really, you know, twist your player's arm to get them excited about it. Every game this month is going to have great meaning for, you know, what it looks like down the road at some point. So we need to make sure we take them, you know, one at a time. And this is going to be a really good Wyoming team. I know they're going to be ready to play. They play hard. You got to respect how Jay does things in Laramie.
It sounds like Conklin's going to be the quarterback for here on out. How do you improve the stats, at least the stat line? You know, I know that you only threw 21 times, but completed 10 passes. How do you improve that?
Well, I want to make sure we understand that the only stat that matters is that we win, right? The rest of it we'll take care of. You know, being an Iowa guy, I remember, you know, in intercollegiate wrestling, you get bonus points for having, you know, scored a lot of point riding time, right? In football, you don't get any of that stuff, all right, for extra yards thrown or running the ball. It's just if you win or lose. Now, what we can do from a staff standpoint, we can try to put them in a good situation, and we tried to do that. We tried to take some of the downfield throws off him. We tried to, you saw a bunch of screen game on Saturday. He made some plays when we needed to. We had a huge screen on a third down to Josiah Freeman late in the game that moved the sticks, that allowed us to continue to eat up some clock when we had a significant lead. I think just trying to find what he's good at, let's take advantage of it. He's not afraid to stand in the pocket. There's some quarterback run game that we can utilize with him as well. And so I think we're just scratching the surface right now. But Carson comes to work every day. I appreciate our quarterback room. I appreciate how way Coach Davis coaches those kids up.
With the results in the Mountain West this weekend, Fresno State's back in the title picture. If you guys went out and get some help, there's going to be a long game of 2 lost teams. Do you have anybody on your staff who's keeping track of all the tiebreakers, what you need to do, what these computer polls look like? Because right now the computer polls are not like in Fresno State.
All we're worried about is going 1-0 our next time. And we got to have going 1-0 today, 1-0 tomorrow. We're going to stack a bunch of good days and then be prepared for our next home game.
And any injury report from Lafitte or anybody else?
You know, we're a little banged up. I don't think anything significant. DJ Lafitte will be back for our Wyoming game. We took him with us just kind of as a questionable, maybe fingers crossed a little bit, but you know, it was good. It was a good thing that we didn't need him. I'm trying to think. Jan Farrar got a little banged up. I think he'll be fine. He'll be back. Again, it was a physical football game, and I think besides just the regular bumps and bruises, I don't think there was anything of significance.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Coach, what message do you want the viewers, the Red Wave, to take from this day?
From just the win, or?
Yeah.
Well, I think that we're still getting better, we're still improving. I think I think if you watched the game, you saw a team that believed in line of scrimmage play, they believed in detailing their work, playing at a high level, great energy, great passion for the game, and hopefully a product on the field that the Red Wave respects, but also, you know, we're playing hard because we know the Red Wave gives us all they can on any given Saturday when we play at home.
Morning, Coach. You've mentioned the last few weeks how you guys have looked really well in practice, but have struggled to translate that to a game, and it looks like you translated that this past Saturday.
Yep.
What was different about this past week of preparation to get the guys?
There was
like-
not a thing different with practice. But I think what happened was there was a little more attention to detail, a little more attention to the little things that turn into big things on Saturday when you're playing a rivalry game or any game. And so I think the focus, the space between the ears was what was impacted the most. It wasn't that we were any bigger or stronger or faster than we've been any other game, but it was our approach to the game. Our leaders led. We have some really good leaders in this room, starting with our captains, but there's others that do a really good job, and that's what I'm excited about, is because we are growing as a football team. Now the challenge will be we have to, and I challenged them after the game. I said, nobody's any more tired after this game than they were the last one. Well, boy, we feel a lot better. And it started because of how we handled our business on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way through the week, you know, detailing everything that we did, making it a priority to give great effort in practice. And if you want big results, you got to practice that way too.
You mentioned how this is a program victory. Is that because of how you guys won this game with defense and running the football and physicality?
No, I think it's more all three phases. It's complementary football. Special teams, I felt like that was an edge that we had, and we took advantage of it. Huge blocked field goal, did a great job on our coverage units, because all of those turn into defense the minute the foot hits the ball. Offensively, we were able to run the football for 200 yards. Again, was it perfect? No. Defensively, 10 TFLs, hold someone to 7 points. You're going to win probably 80-85% of your games. But it's also the weight room and the commitment to getting bigger, faster, stronger. It's the nutrition department. It's our video people. It's our recruiting people. It's our coaches and all the support people that are tied to it. Made a big emphasis last week that for us to move forward, we got to have alignment throughout this entire building. And programs are hard to beat. And we're looking at one like Boise State. That's a program, right? And that's a program that is extremely difficult to beat. Teams come and go. Programs remain.
I was listening to the radio broadcast, and after the game, you mentioned how there was a moment before the game where the defense players picked an offensive player to pray for, and the team was connected together going into the game. Can you speak to how this?
That was at Chapel.
Yeah.
That was kind of something that our Cam, our chaplain, kind of was different than most Saturdays, and probably threw a little bit of a curveball. But instead of praying for your own needs, let's pray for somebody else. And I think it was a great. I mean, we want to be based on servant leadership, where the needs of my teammates are greater than my own. And if we can get to that place, we'll be a dangerous football program. When you play for other people and you eliminate the selfishness. And so I think that was just Cam trying to be part of the program and to hold up his end. And he did a tremendous job.
I was going to ask real quick, my last question. How connected is this team? Because the defense picking up the offense last week kind of showed me that the defense
Right.
is picking up the offense, and the offense is picking up the defense with the running game.
Right. I think you see they're believing in complementary football. But I think one of the greatest examples is if you watch the game and watch the sideline. One of the things that I emphasize, and I think this might be a problem in college football right now. The technology is tremendous, right? We have these iPads. Well, guess what? Our kids are on their phone all day long, and now on game day we have them on these iPads all game. But so what we've created with these iPads is 3 teams. We have a special team, we have an offensive team, and a defensive team. So this week I told Friday night, I said, you get things corrected, and then you get them back to the sideline and get them engaged and let them watch the game and let them be supportive. And if you watch the TV copy, you watch our copy, the all 11, all 22 copy, you're going to see a sideline that was frenzied. When positive things happened, people were cheering. When turnovers happened, you saw all our offensive guys sprinting to find their helmet because they knew they had to get back on the field. That's what we're trying to get to. You know, sitting around looking at things on an iPad, watching every single play, get the details that they need, get them coached up, and get them back into the game.
So you alluded to the use of an iPad.
Tried to make, you're exactly right, right? Get away from the phone a little bit, get away from the technology, you know? Shoot, I remember a grease board worked for a long time, you know? I pulled one out on Saturday, right? And the kids looked at me like I was, like I had what were those Chinese things? Yeah, they thought I had an abacus out there. Right? What is this grease board? You bet.
Coach, fans always have Boise State circled on the calendar when they see them on the schedule. I know you're on to the next after today, but what did that mean for you to earn your first trophy win as head coach of the Bulldogs?
It was huge because of the team, because of our group, the group of young men in this room, for them to have the success that, man, we knew it was there, and that's what I get excited about. To see their passion, their excitement, because of the hard work, the effort, the energy, that we're not dismissing any of that. That was really good. And this was a huge game. Someone had asked me, like, how did you prepare? It was bigger than normal. Going back to spring when I got here, we started to implement a milk can period. And we probably did it 8 to 9 times since spring till now. And it had rules to it, but it was all about finishing blocks, getting off blocks, and it was a live period, you know, and that was it. And so we just emphasized, and guess what happened? At the end of the game, we had a milk can moment. We needed to get one more first down, and that's all our kids on the sideline were saying was, Coach, it's just like the milk can period.
When you're getting ready to coach a game like this, is there any different preparation-wise for you, not just running through practice, but implementing, you know, the emphasis of how important the milk can game is?
No, I think because of what we had done leading up to it since back in January and spring ball and stuff, they knew, but sometimes I think you don't want to make it too big of a game because, again, it's only one. You don't want one to turn into two, and you want to, every person we play in this league, every game we have is going to be competitive. You've heard me say it, it's hard to win football games, but this was a sweet one to get a win. And again, our staff, our players, our support personnel, everyone had a huge role in this game.
Did you feel a sense of relief? We've heard the last few weeks, obviously, you wanting all 3 phases to work together, the run game finally going, defense really showing up. Did you feel relieved after this one?
I don't know if relief is in my ability. I felt better. Let's just say that. There's things we got to get better at. I talked to the team about it today. Had too many administrative penalties, which then impact our ability to get first downs, especially when they're on offense. So, yeah, we got things to clean up, but it's a good place to start, isn't it? Feels a lot better here on this Monday than others.
Coach, you mentioned that milk can moment, getting that last first down.
Yeah.
And here you've got Gilliam, Donaldson, and Ramirez have all scored touchdowns. Speedy's your leading rusher, but it's Jonathan Arsenault with the ball in his hands for that last first down. And I don't think that was by accident. Can you explain why that mattered in that moment?
Well, I think, you talk about another senior, a young man that embraces his role, but has been a huge piece of this program, has been here for, his entire career. And so I think it was fit to put him on the field. Let's get this done personnel-wise. 2nd and 7, 2 minutes left, one more first down, and this thing's over. And just like we talked about, just like our milk can periods at practice, all we're doing, it's a 4-minute period. We're just trying to get one first down, knowing that we can kill the clock if we do. And great to see the excitement and the energy of all the 11 guys that were on the field. They knew what was going to happen.
And you mentioned the phone, getting away from the iPad, getting away from the phone, but I imagine it's been hard to get away from your phone since that game ended. Have you gotten a sense of how this game resonated, not just with the Red Wave, but around the country?
I have. I had probably 200 plus text messages when I finally got back into the locker room. I think I finally maybe got to the last few late last night. Our president had a text from him, had a number of texts from, other media members throughout the country, head coaches throughout, all levels of football. So, I think the fact that it was on Fox Sports middle of the day, across the country, it was the game to watch. And the way our kids played, I think it raised some eyebrows. So I'm excited about that.
And last thing, fans are gonna get a chance to pose with the milk can tonight at the basketball game.
Yep.
Any tips or reflections on your experience with that little piece of milk?
You know what, appreciate it. Those are hard, it's hard to come by. You know, one of the things that we talked about is, you know, with that milk can, it's reflective. And the first thing you see when you look at it is yourself. So we talked about our kids and make sure you can see yourself in this thing, and we'll get their names engraved on it as soon as we can. Anyone more?
Yeah.
Coach, signing day is in a month. Could you speak on, I know you can't talk specifics, but the efforts there and maybe how this win can carry some momentum as you juggle the season and recruiting?
Well, I think I'm excited about where we're at from a recruiting standpoint. 23, 24 committed kids right now. We feel like we really have a good group, a very well-balanced group, something that maybe and this is high school kids, maybe one transfer right now. There may be a few more transfers that we look at as we get a little bit closer to the end of the season. We have a tremendous group of seniors right now, 25 plus. That's a big bunch to replace. So we're probably going to have to look into the portal just a little bit for certain, you know, plug and play type of people. But if we can complement the 25 class with this 26 class, I really get excited about what our future looks like. I mean, even you look right now at our roster, we have 25 seniors, limited juniors, and everyone else is a sophomore, redshirt freshman, or freshman. So our you know, roster is heavy underclass right now, and so again, we got to do a great job of developing in the weight room, championship habits in the classroom, all those things. I'm excited about where we're going. I'm excited about the group of young men we have signed, and they've all been to numerous home games, and I anticipate we'll have more coming up in the last 2 home games of the year.
Okay, I have one more to put there. A non-football question, but there's an election tomorrow. I'm just wondering, I'm not gonna ask how anybody's gonna vote, but do you talk about the importance of voting, the importance of being a citizen?
I'm going to be honest, I have not. I guess I've had some things going on. I tell you what, I'll be honest, I don't really know what's going on in the world besides what happens between the white lines. I don't do a great job. If I'm not with my team, then I'm spending it with my wife and my puppy, and otherwise I'm trying to turn it off. But no, I think we have a responsible group of kids. I know that we have a group of young men on our football team that love to give back to the community of Fresno. I know they impact the young people in this community exponentially, and so we'll continue to do that, and hopefully continue to model and mentor what it looks like to be an appropriate and a good part of the community.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you. You guys have a good